Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're watching this video, I'm Jose, and I'm going to be showing you how to take effective research notes. This is, of course, relevant to historical research for an academic paper, but also research for any other subject or project you might be working on. Just as some resources I can give you and mention, much of what I know about note-taking has come from two books: The Princeton Guide to Historical Research, and of course, everyone's favorite, a manual for writers of research papers, thesis, and dissertations. You can read these books, or you can just watch this video. The purpose of note-taking is to answer your research question. After finding the sources you want to use in your research, it's now time to take some notes. Note-taking can be important because it'll allow you to retain information, engage with your sources, and organize information. Zachary Schrag offers two parts of note-taking: mining and assembly. With mining, you can think of mining for gold. Your research is only a small portion of everything on a given topic, and you can't write everything down. Assembly, because you'll have to sort your information based on the purpose of your research. So for example, let's say your research is to determine why Union and Confederate soldiers fought during the Civil War. You may want to assemble this information into two parts: Union and Confederate, and perhaps subcategories based on any other reasons in a given category. There are 3 steps we can follow when taking notes. What you're going to need is a source, a pen or a pencil, and your preferred way of taking notes. More on that in a bit. The first step is the mining stage. You're going to record your sourcing information, such as the last name of the author, the title, and the page number if there is one. Based on your project, you may need to put together a bibliography on these sources. This sourcing information is there so that you can find it very quickly. The second step is to quote the author's work and avoid plagiarism. Plagiarism is stealing others' work, and it can be done intentionally or unintentionally. And then you're going to write down, is it useful for your research? You're going to take some of this time to analyze your research. You'll thank yourself later for that. Also, only write down what is absolutely necessary. You don't need to write down or paste everything the author says. The third step is to sort your notes when you are done, or while researching, into categories based on the purpose of your research. Again, this is the assembly stage. There are a couple of ways that you can take notes, and honestly, you might have to figure out what works best for you. But the 2 major categories are on paper and digital. I actually prefer digital. I'll explain later why. And then I'll show you 2 bonus tools in my preferred way of taking notes. I'll go through a few tools with you and talk about the drawbacks and the benefits, and then I'll let you decide. The first is a notebook. Honestly, sometimes it's a lot easier, I find, to handle something that's paper and in your hands. And with this type of note-taking, you write the name of the source at the top of the paper, or you can skip to the assembly stage and assemble your notes on your paper and just add sourcing information after each source. Again, this can be a little cumbersome. I'll show you each step for note-taking here. We have the sourcing information, our quote or paraphrase, and important information about the note. Some of the benefits of this is that it can enhance your memory on the topic. You don't really need technology. And some of the drawbacks is that it's hard to organize. Sometimes you don't quite know what order to assemble your notes. So, you have to kind of figure that out along the way. You might have limited space. The second is also paper, the second way to take notes, which is flashcards. On the front of the flashcard, you might provide your sourcing information in a quote. And on the back, you might write the importance of your note for your research. The benefits is that they can be very portable. They have focused information right on the card, and then you can easily sort them right in front of you. Some of the drawbacks of notebooks are fixed here because you can easily rearrange your notes on a table or on the floor, wherever you might be. Some of the drawbacks is that it's cumbersome to carry them around. They may lack context, and honestly, it's time consuming to have to write all of that on your note cards. Our third form of note-taking is digital, and that is a word processor like Google Docs, Microsoft Word, Apple Pages. Similar to a notebook, but we have the sourcing information here, our quote or paraphrase, and our important note. Again, very similar to a notebook. The pros of this are that you can easily search, which isn't an option with a notebook. You can copy, paste, and edit, and collaborate with others. You can share your documents. The drawbacks are that it could be a distraction if you're easily distracted on a computer. You're going to need a device, and your notes may get easily cluttered. And then our last form of note-taking is a reference manager like Zotero. The purpose of this sort of source is that it's a database that stores all your sources. If you've never used Zotero, give it a try. I've never tried it, but if you've used it, I'd like to hear what you think about it in the comments section. Some of the benefits is that it organizes your references right in one place. It integrates well with Docs. You can paste your sourcing information, and you can easily retrieve and search your information. Some drawbacks are that you have to learn how to use the software. You have to download it, and it's hard to sort notes. Again, this is a form of note-taking that's mainly for sorting your references, not so much organizing your notes and doing the assembly stage. One bonus tool, like I promised, is a tool for collecting images, and that's a tool called Trophy. The website says you can turn photos into items, describe your sources, organize research, and annotate your photos. It's a software that can be downloaded on Mac and Windows. I actually just learned about this tool. I have not tried it yet, but up until this point, I've been saving all of my images in a folder on my desktop, but honestly, it's become very cluttered, and there hasn't been a lot of context with my photos. Please tell me what you think about Trophy in the comments section if you've used it before. And another bonus tool is the one I use a lot for note-taking, and that's Notion. Notion is a free productivity and organizational tool that is amazing. If you've never tried it, now is your chance. I'll show you a database I created for taking notes, and it will be available for you in the description to purchase if you like it. Notion database that I use, and this was for fall. And you can see that there are a couple projects that you can set up. Each will generate automatically. When you do new, it'll generate a whole new to-do list. And as you can see, this page here is the front page, and it'll include all the things that you need to do, and it'll also include a calendar area to see where those things are due. You can also click and drag these to the different get started, in progress, or done sections. And I'll show you within this specific project I was working on, Cuban migrations, that there's going to be a project overview, your to-do list, of course, and these are the sources. So, you go to each source and open it. You'll see that there's information about what the project is, the purpose. You scroll through, there's notes, source comments, author, date created. And then, of course, each source is going to be sorted into all the notes section. You can actually click these, which is what I like about digital, is that you can rearrange it very easily and copy and paste. That's why I prefer it to physical. Notice here you can actually click and drag. And then you could also tag on Notion so that if you want to organize them a certain way and assemble them a certain way, you can tag them with specific things. So that's what I really like to use. To wrap things up, remember that effective note-taking is a skill that is going to help your research process. Whether you prefer traditional methods or digital tools, the key is to find out what works best for you. Don't forget to explore the tools that I mentioned, Trophy and Notion, for note-taking and image collection. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found these tips helpful. If you have any questions or need further assistance, feel free to leave a comment. Also, leave a comment about what you prefer and what note-taking strategies you use. And please, if you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos on research help and other history-related videos. Happy researching!